Be professional.
Do you know how to do that?
No. That's why this is going to be fun.
Fantastic. Maybe we do start a podcast. All right.
That too.
Hey everyone, my name's Kellen Beauchesne, and I am the owner of Pointy Ear Performance, and we're here today at Three Hounds Training Group with the owner, Becky Norlander, and we're here to talk about the Flyer bumper. What you may not know was Becky was actually the one who came up with the idea, and together we got the bumper to where it's at now. So I'm going to let Becky talk here for a second, but Becky, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, it was a number of years just kind of cooking in the back of my head. I've had a number of world champions. Griff was my first one. His best jump was 29.9. Then Iago came along, and his best jump was 31.6. And what I was noticing with both dogs is I could not find a toy heavy enough to get out in front of them fast enough where they wouldn't flip or turn over or land incorrectly, possibly causing injury, and that concerned me.
So you're really trying to stretch the dog out.
I needed to stretch I needed them to chase the toy, not look for the toy behind them.
Got it.
So that's what I was looking for. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, try this bumper, it's weighted. Try this bumper, it's heavier than that bumper. This one gets heavier when it's soaking, and nothing, it didn't throw well. It took a while to get to that weight. And even when it was that weight, it still just did not perform for what I needed it to perform.
Right. So there was a clumsiness aspect. Yeah. There was a changing in weight aspect that you saw. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So as I was thinking about it, I started my younger dog working in obedience. And one of the things that they used in the obedience for the retrieves are dumbbells.
Dumbbells.
And I went, oh, I like how this throws. It throws so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then just by chance, we started talking.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, if you could design a perfect bumper, what would it be? And I'm like, well, it's got to fit in my hands. And you're like, so what dimension? I'm like, it's got to be about 2.5, 3 inches. And you're like this? And I'm like, yes, that's good.
Yep.
And you're like, well, how long does it need to be? And I'm like, about like this. And you came up with the measurements.
Yep.
And you made a prototype.
Yep.
And I started throwing it. And it worked.
It worked.
It was stable.
Stable.
It was heavy enough.
Yes.
Actually, no, the first ones weren't. We started out with 14 ounces?
I don't know if you remember, but the very first one, I injected silicone caulking into the mold.
No, I don't remember.
And I was so excited because it needed a couple days to dry, and we brought it here to break it open. And when we broke it open, it was kind of still goopy.
It was like a chocolate chip cookie out of the oven.
But not warm or tasty.
No, I do remember that. That was something like, oh, I guess we're not throwing that one.
But we tried. We did.
We had some good ones, but what I absolutely love, and now, I mean,
so we've gone through a couple iterations, right?
Yeah, we started out with 14 because we thought 14's going to be it. It was too light.
It was too light.
That really kind of took me by surprise.
We had open ends.
The
foam could, it was one of the, you could hide treats in there if you wanted.
The dogs really took great pride in I'm going to pick this out.
Yeah.
And I know you were like, I'm not covering the ends. I'm like, you're going to have to cover
the
ends.
So that was when you requested, you said the ends have to be covered because the foam gets pulled out.
Yep.
And I remember going, no, it's not going to happen.
No, it didn't happen.
And so initially we came up with kind of a flat idea, and we still had the little foam hole here.
Yep.
And then we had some cracking issues on the side, and the foam was shifting.
Yep.
And you've been so kind to us because you've been using this with your clients and letting them try them out, and durability testing them for us, which has been pretty important. And so then we've came up with a couple modifications. So there's the 4-hole ones to really stabilize the foam. And then,
so what's nice about all of this is, people are going to look at it and it's so hard. It feels hard, but what we've found,
right?
And I don't know why the dogs do this, but they all do. When they come back, they might catch it in the middle.
Yep.
But then they come back with the ends, and you see all of this. Just chompy, 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 all the way back. So they all carry it like a cigar. And they just... I don't know.
Do you feel the dog targets the center any more than the edges? Because I know with some of the other bumpers, they might target the edge and the catch is off or the jump is off.
When I throw this for my dogs, yes.
Okay.
It's like center grab.
Got it.
And then they switch to the ends.
Okay.
Or the even more fun thing, which was kind of an unexpected bonus to this. They miss it. It goes in before them. It comes up immediately.
Immediately.
So I can't tell you how many times I kind of chuckle. My dogs are underneath and it's floating on top. I'm like, good luck, kids. Eventually they find it.
They find it.
So that's been fun.
Right.
I have used this with very, very new beginner throwers.
Yeah.
What surprised me about it was how it instills an immediate, this is the proper way to throw.
So tell me real quick, how long have you been working with, how long have you been doing this with your own facility, teaching people how to do, duck diving?
So I have been here as Three Hounds for 7 years.
7 years.
Every year, my dogs have gotten invites to regionals or nationals. Griff has been to nationals a couple of times. Iago's been invited to nationals a couple of times. I'm looking at my dogs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Who's done what? Because you forget. I know last year, this was fun for me. Nationals, I placed 18 teams on podiums.
That's a nice little hat and feather in the hat there, for sure.
So that was cool. So yeah, we've been doing it for a little bit, and I have a unique ability to get dogs to learn how to catch bumpers.
Okay.
But in order to do that, you need a solid product.
Right.
You need something that's going to be reliable every single time you throw it.
Yep.
Well, since I do this every day,
mm-hmm.
I've been able to, okay, I've got this bumper. It's kind of light. It's kind of floppy. It does this. All right, I can make it work. But this one, every single time I know what it's going to do.
Right.
I know how it's going to respond.
Right.
And people who have never thrown, it just responds automatically. One of the first things they say is, oh my gosh, it feels so good.
Right.
It was designed to feel good in your hand.
It's solid.
It's solid. But
there's give.
I don't have big hands.
Right.
But my hand can fit all the way
fit around it. Yep.
And it's just comfortable.
Okay.
And that's what you're looking for. You need something that's comfortable. Otherwise, it's going to throw all over the place.
I always found myself kind of like moving my arm out at a weird angle or kind of like shifting my hips to get the longer bumpers kind of past me as I threw them. Okay. I don't really find that with this one because it's definitely shorter than the standard bumper you see on the market.
But it was all designed for that purpose.
Correct.
It was designed to not only feel good, but to work well.
Right.
And so far, I'm thinking. I think the only negative thing that I've heard is, well, they don't come in customizable colors.
They do come in customizable colors. And just recently we started with some neon colors, and
these are amazing.
They really kind of pop. So
I should have grabbed Iago and Lyra's.
Those are good bumpers too.
Those are nice.
The black and blue is Iago's, and then Lyra has
purple and blue.
Purple and blue. That's right. Yeah. I've made a handful of them now, so I can't remember all of them. But so it's definitely been a process. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact that you scared the heck out of me when you were like, oh, I'm telling everybody at our next event. And that was back in November of 24. Yeah. And
I might have a habit of pushing people a little.
Well, I mean, it's probably good. As an engineer by day, I like to, move at maybe a snail's pace, which is probably too slow. But it's been good to have a push, and I think there always needs to be a push there. So the latest iteration is we've got a star pattern on the end. So for the chompers that like to squeeze, the end's gonna kind of give a little bit, so it'll be good for the chompers.
Yep.
And we've got a core now that's gonna support the material a little bit better for the teeth
for the hacksaws.
For the hacksaws, like my male dog who likes to chomp right through them.
So I do have to. So I have 2 Malinois right now that are competing.
Yep.
And again, looking at him again on the wall. One of them I would say is a heavy. He's got a heavy bite to him. And Lyra, I would have to say mid to heavy. The funny thing about it is that Iago, this is the one bumper that he will out for me. I don't even have to trade toys with him. He's like, okay, here you go. So I don't know why. That's just an added bonus.
Yeah.
The only toy. He loves it. Oh, and by the way, he and Lyra switched bumpers. She is now blue and black. He is blue and purple. I don't know. It's weird. So, yeah. That, and the other thing I think I told you, so Lyra is 3 now.
Yes.
And she's been jumping since she's a little over 1.
Okay.
So about 2 years.
Yep.
Okay. It's taken me all of 2 years to get her to catch the bumper.
Right.
This did it.
This did it.
This did it. And the only reason I say this did it,
yep.
because I've told you before, I can take any bumper you give me and get it to where it needs to be.
Right.
This seems to be more stable. I don't know that it's more visible in the air,
right?
But it's more stable where, I don't know, does it give more hang time? You're the engineer. You do the data.
Yeah, I'll go back and math a little bit.
Thank
yeah.
You. But it gave her enough time to process, to go out and grab.
All right.
And then land. So, and now she's doing it consistently. For a while, it was only at 12. Anything more was too scary, but we're now at 18.
And this is the same dog that jumps 21 for AR, I believe?
Yeah, she starts at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I know. It's sad.
We've got
but her personal best in distance is 20, so it all equals out.
It all equals out. So if someone's on the fence for one of these, like, hey, there are other bumpers on the market that might be a little less expensive, or maybe I don't like the material, what would you tell someone that is on the fence?
I would ask them, what material are you looking for and why?
Sure.
I mean, are you looking for gripability? Is that a word?
You said it, so I think it counts.
Okay. Are you looking for gripability? Are you looking for texture? Are you looking for softness? What specifically are you looking for?
Right.
And why? Is it your preference or is it your dog's preference?
Right.
Because that makes a big deal.
And there's
too.
a difference there, right?
There's a big difference. The reason why their bumpers are blue and black and blue and purple is my preference, not theirs.
And I really think the color is the person's preference.
Yes, very much so.
However, I will say my male got up from across the room when I pulled this out and started bouncing in my face like, it's time to go.
I noticed there were a couple of dogs when you had that out because you have my problem. You like to talk with your hands a lot. And so all of a sudden the dogs are like, yep, okay, I got it. Where's it going? So this one really does kind of catch attention.
It does.
And I think it's the contrast of the black and the neon.
Yep.
And
yeah.
That which is, I mean, I know this color will catch their attention.
Yes.
So
it catches my attention.
Yes, that's good. But after finding out what specifically you're looking for in the bumper, I'm telling you, these throw well.
Right.
You almost have to try hard to throw them like crap.
Crap, yeah.
They come off the hand nice. And I found if I hold it like this and throw it, it's much more difficult. But if I put it in my
right on the tip of the fingers,
and it's beautiful.
Right.
It's beautiful.
And it flies pretty level.
Yeah. Well, see?
Yeah. Let's not throw it at the camera. But yeah, so it flies pretty level.
Yes.
And of course that depends on how you release it with your wrist and stuff. But getting there isn't difficult.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, even my people who their dog just jumped off for the first time, I'm like, here, throw this. And they do, and they're like, oh, wow, that's really nice. And I'm like, you would be surprised at how many people would kill to have your throw right now.
Right.
And I think it's because they didn't have to worry about, okay, so how do I throw it? It's kind of light, but I got to get it out to there. And, you know,
right.
It's like the no thinking flyer.
Well, and you know, when I started, I had a $8 foam stick, and it probably weighed 2-4 ounces. Like, it wasn't much. Right. And so as soon as my dog started jumping over 16 feet, like I was struggling to get my dog out further. Yep. So I think the weight is a huge aspect of it that that not a lot of people grasp.
No, they don't. And like I said, we started with 14.
Yep.
And that was too light.
Yep.
Which just blew my mind. So I'm like, all right, let's take it out to 16.
Yep, and we did that, right?
And that was too light. And I think we had like 15, 16, 17, and 18.
There were some iterations where there were production influxes, and so...
You know, I think that's just what we ended up with. You're like, here, try this, this, and this, and let's see what people like.
Yep.
And the majority of people settled on 17 ounces.
Yep. So we didn't just pick 17. Everyone picked 17, really.
Picked us.
It kind of picked us.
So that was really cool. And I did not expect that at all. I'm like, I know I want something heavier. I didn't realize 17 ounces was the weight we were going with.
It's a weird number too, right? It's a pound and an ounce. Like,
who picks 17?
What? Right. This is a terrible number.
Lucky number 17.
Yes.
Nobody says that.
I think. Well, you did.
Now we did. Lucky number 17. Quick, buy those lottery tickets.
That's right. 17, 17, 7.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Darn. This is why I never win the lottery.
Yeah, I'd have to play first.
Fair. They say your chances dramatically increase when you buy one ticket. Not so much with the second one.
Okay.
You might have to math that at home.
That'll take a while.
Okay.
Okay. Engineer? Not engineer.
Yeah, I don't think you need the degree to tell you that. But anyways.
Okay. Yeah. So 17, and what was really interesting to me. So when Iago was jumping 31.6, he would scare me because he'd always
he was a beast
over the back and flipping. So he's twisting and flipping, landing stupid.
Yep.
So that I would purposely short him so that he would stretch and land appropriately,
right, so
that we wouldn't have a career-ending injury.
Yes.
That was my big thing. Now, what I found with this bumper, he's 6.5, almost 6.5.
Okay.
We're still hitting out like 26, 27, 28.
Yep.
But his style has changed.
His style. Okay, so the way he's leaping off the dock, the way he's collecting himself in the air.
Nope.
No.
In the air, just in the air.
Okay.
Not off the dock. Off the dock, he's still doing everything the same, coming down like, a herd of elephants, leaving off the end, but now he's stretching out, reaching for it, as opposed to, oh, there it is.
Right, twisting around.
Yep.
Which we don't want.
No, you don't want. You also don't want a straight entry.
Right.
Because they will bottom off.
Yeah, we don't want any hard parts hitting the bottom.
No.
Yes.
It's interesting. So the trajectory of the flyer is not as, it does not need to be. There we go. Let's start with that. That's what I found. Does not need to be as high as the other bumpers.
Right.
Because it'll fly out straight.
Right.
So I was able to bring him down to keep him from looking behind and twisting and just keep him going forward.
Got it.
So and it's pretty fascinating. A lot of people have this belief that their dog has to go super, super high in order to get out super, super far.
I've had conversations like, my dog needs to jump off at 45 degrees. And I always ask, well, what made you come to that conclusion? Well, just look at the angle of a triangle. Like, well, yeah,
it
but
goes up and
it's
comes
not
down.
really exactly, but.
Yeah, you want, I always say, you want more of a happy rainbow. Yeah.
To be fair, I've never seen a sad rainbow.
That's true, but that's why you want one.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah. So this gives me a little bit more of that sloping arch.
Okay.
As opposed to those sharp angles.
Right.
Because I always do the, now I can't think of his name. Who goes up and comes straight back down? What law? Newton's law. Is it Newton?
Who's that? I'm an engineer. I don't know any of those guys.
Oh my God. Pythagoras? Now are we talking?
We're not going to get into theorems. We're not going to get into theorems.
Okay. Anyway, so that's what I found with this one. Now Griff is 12, and we jump off the dock, but it's like, you throw the toy, I'll wait for it to land so I know how much energy I have to exert, and then I'll go get it.
So he's really calculating at his
he's like,
golden
that
age.
Far? Really? Okay. Or he'll jump before me and say, I'll catch it now. That's great too. But this, and like I said, with Lyra too, it's really kind of worked to get her to go up and pull it out of the air, as opposed to frog jumping. She frog jumps.
Frog jumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's out. Yeah,
okay.
It's great.
Well, so interesting that you're talking about jumping and kind of controlling their stretch, if you will. Just today, my male, who's also a Malinois, he wasn't actually jumping off the dock. And you told me that, like, hey, what's he doing? And so just a quick correction with a little bit of up and out, and he just started jumping again. They really are trying to get that bumper. And I think having the ability and shape of this bumper gives you the control that you really need, you're looking for, right? Like, I know when I was using the other type of bumpers, stuff is moving around inside, right? There's stuff inside to keep it weighted, but it moves. It's not fixed. And with this, nothing moves.
No.
So it's the same every throw.
Yeah. The other thing I liked is, how many times have you gone to a competition and you've thrown the toy once and it comes back totally destroyed because they're chomp, chomp, chomp all the way back? I've watched mine chomp, chomp, chomp all the way back, and it's still the same toy.
Correct.
It hasn't changed.
It doesn't change.
I have watched them go to town in the center here, and I've got like scuff marks. But there are no punctures.
Right.
Of course, it helps that my dogs like to shear off all their teeth, anyways. But I mean, whatever. That's
I think you said, story. My male has either axe teeth.
Yes.
And so he likes to. He
notches them out.
Yes, he does a good job of that.
Very impressive.
However, again, it still flies the same.
Yes.
It still throws the same. It still floats the same.
Yep.
And that's another thing we haven't touched on either. And I think it might have been something I was more concerned about, is where it floated in the water.
Yeah, not so much me.
Than you.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I was really frustrated with the current bumper design, where they would float just below the water level.
Oh, yeah.
And my dogs would have a hard time finding it.
Yep.
And when we were designing these, I wanted it to, at least half of it to be above the water level. And it does that.
Yep.
It does that really well. And it seems like when you throw these and the dog doesn't catch it, it goes in the water, but it immediately pops up, and the dog does a half scan, and he's already on it.
The only thing I have to say, and this has been interesting to me as well, it depends on the color scheme, and it depends on your dog's preference.
Yes.
Because Char likes this light blue one that I swear to God.
My female Malinois,
blend in and be non-existent. And she's like, nope, it's there.
That is true.
Hawk is like, where did it go?
I don't see it.
I cannot find the bumper. So that was interesting.
We have been sensitive about colors too. We've tried to stay away from blues because the blue liner of the pool, and the water is typically like blue from the liner. And so we generally stay away from it. But when I experimented with colors and it kind of came out that what is it that it was like a baby blue color. It was robin egg, maybe.
Robin's egg, baby blue. It was a pool blue.
It was pool blue for sure. And we were like,
no,
it's going to get lost.
No, every single time. She loves it.
Yeah, and my female just picked up on that. And so.
And there have been other dogs that have done that as well.
Okay.
That particular bumper. And I'm like, oh, no, never mind. No, they've got it. It's fine. It's fine. Whereas we have a red and green one.
Yes.
That one seems to be hard for the dogs to find.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That one probably got used the most today, I thought.
I think that's personal preference, not dog preference.
Yes.
Because I have watched a lot of dogs go, where is it? I can't find it.
That's interesting.
And I'll have to splash to get their attention. They're like, oh, there it is. Because they're able to see it float above.
Yeah, it's at least that contrast level or contrast of shape versus water, where it's above the ground of the water level. So,
but otherwise, I would have to say, like I said, this one catches their eye a lot. This one catches people's eye a lot.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Yeah, it caught my eye for sure.
Yeah. Trying to think what other colors. The orange. Before that was one of the precursors that. Lyra decided to take an end off. And by the way, if the end comes off, they will sink like this, so they can be used as a diving tool.
Do they sink?
If one end comes off, it will sink.
Oh, interesting.
But it stands straight up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just the end that doesn't have the.
So I thought we had one that split in half and the half still floated.
I don't remember.
Because I know the foam, once the foam comes out to the ground.
Yeah, thank you, Iago. He pulled the foam out, and then that was fun. That was fun. And then I had to fish that one out. That one did not sink standing up. That one fell over.
Okay.
No, Lyra had taken an end off.
Interesting.
So she was carrying it like this, but the end was off. And she likes to put her toys in the water, and
Yep.
then she'll nudge it out and wait for it. So she put the toy in the water, and it sank, and she stood there going, now what do I do? And I said, you go and get your toy. She didn't.
Oh.
I know. I had to fish the stupid thing out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dogs.
So, yeah, I don't know. I can't. And granted, it might be my design. I might be biased, but I really have not found anything
Right.
that there's nothing in it that I am like, oh, we should change this.
Okay.
And I keep asking people, I'm like, here, try this. Here, try this.
Right.
What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Yep.
And I will sometimes even ask questions of, oh, yeah, I don't know about that. How do you feel about it? So I'll kind of set them up for,
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to be bad.
Don't
right?
give your bias right away,
Yeah.
right?
And the first thing people say is, it feels good.
It feels good.
And I like how it throws. Throws. Well, they did it more than once, so
Yeah.
throws is appropriate.
Throws. Yeah. No, that's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that sounds like the idea really has been, it's here, right? Like
Yeah.
we've got, I mean, I think at this point, and I say this every time, it's pretty awesome right now, but who knows where we change it
Right.
from moving forward.
Right.
But yeah, and people are excited about it. There have been people kind of knocking on my door, and I'm like, yeah, we'll get there. And now I'm like, yes. And they're like, okay, I need one like yesterday.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm like, and here's his number.
Yeah, that's right.
Just call him.
Just
He'll
call
answer.
me. Look us up on Facebook. We have a website. Anyways,
You can always come to Three Hounds. I got a couple extra. You can try
come
them
to
out.
Three Hounds.
Try before you buy.
They are the exclusive handler of the flyer bumper right now. So that's good. But yeah, all right. Well, I think we've summarized the flyer pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
How can people get a hold of you, and where can they find Three Hounds?
Well, Three Hounds is in Plymouth, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And getting a hold of me a couple of different ways.
All right.
You can go through Facebook. So if you go to Three Hounds Training Ground LLC on Facebook, you'll be able to send me a message that way.
All right.
If you go to threehounds.com, you'll find all sorts of contact information. If you choose to use the phone number, please text. The only reason I say that is because I am the only one here. And when I am working with your dog, I am working with your dog. The world could come to an end. I don't care. I'm here for your dog.
Fire outside.
That's actually happened.
Oh, okay. That sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah, never mind. I work with the dog that I'm working with, and nothing else matters.
Right.
So leave a text, because every now and then I can pop in and out and be like, hey, working with the dog, I'll get back to you in 2 seconds.
Right. I know we have some long messages back and forth throughout the day.
Yep. Yeah, that's through Facebook. So when I have time in between things, I might multitask, maybe.
Yep.
So we'll, constantly messaging back and forth. You're like,
Yep.
hey, I did this. And I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Now do this. And you're like, oh, crap.
There have been a couple gear changes,
Yeah.
left to right, up to down.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, either schedule pool time, schedule a lesson. Would love that too.
Yep, and they can do all that on your website.
They can do all that on the website.
Three Hounds.
Threehounds.com.
Threehounds.com.
Yeah. Not
right.
Three Hounds Dog Training. That's in Bainbridge, Washington. They call me all the time. If you see this, put a number on your website, because your people are really confused.
Three Hounds.
Threehounds.com. Yep.
All right.
Plymouth, Wisconsin.
Plymouth, Wisconsin.
920-377-1359.
And just to point out, you are the only indoor facility in the state of Wisconsin.
The competition, only indoor competition.
Indoor
facility.
competition facility.
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Yep.
There are other indoors
pools,
but you're associated with NAD,
yes,
which is North American Diving Dogs.
North America Diving Dogs. Yes.
Diving Dogs. Cool. And you do competitions like once a month regular
So
on average?
my competition season is like just opposite of like normal. This place is inundated with competitions in the summer.
Yep.
And instead of having 3 facilities fighting for one weekend,
Yep.
I do wintertime.
Yep.
So I do September through May.
Through May.
Yeah, right now, February, so we just got done with an event. I'll have an event in March, one in April, and one in May. This is 2025, by the way. Okay.
We can cut that out.
We can cut that out. It's fine. Let's see. That's it. Anything else?
And then, so not only do you compete or do competitions here at your pool, you do just regular get your dog in the water, training sessions. What else do you do?
Well, swimming is like the best conditioner for dogs.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. It targets all the muscle groups, and it especially targets, my big thing is, especially if you're dock jumping, you should definitely be conditioning the dog's core muscles.
Okay.
The most serious injury that I've seen is the iliopsoas muscle gets torn, gets overstretched, and it's been career-ending for a few, which is devastating to me.
Yep.
But I've also watched a few come back. But it takes a year of heavy rehab.
Ooh, let's not.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not do
that. So,
that.
you know, come here. I will help you. I will show you how to get your dog to jump correctly. My big thing, because when I started out dock diving, I had a coach, and I'm like, okay, cool. And everything was like, yeah, looks good. Go to your competition. I'm like, okay. And I'd go to my competition, and inevitably the dog would do something. I'd be like, now what? Coach was nowhere to be found.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, crap. So when I give instruction, how often is it? I'm like, okay, what just happened?
Yes.
What are you going to do next?
We talk
a lot
on, especially on the dock, right?
Yep. I want to make sure that you know what's going on, that you can see what's going on,
right, so
that you can fix in real time.
Yep.
Because, you know, as much as I like, you know, I am not going to follow you around the country when you compete. Sorry.
I mean, what if we paid your way?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, so you might.
I might. Actually, that has been something I've been thinking about, you know. If somebody wants to...
We'll travel for hire.
If you want to have me come out for a day at a competition...
There you go.
You know, come hire me out, and I'll be like, okay, let's watch the dog.
Yep.
All right, this dock is doing this for your dog, set your dog here. Okay, striding is still a little bit off. Let's tweak that a little bit.
Yep.
All right, now your throw sucks. Let's work on that.
Yep.
Try a flyer.
And on that note, I know you have given me a little harassment over the little while.
Always.
Because I tried to math the dog jumping, and the very short and brief comment was like, oh, well, I just do that from my seat, and it's not ego driven at all. It is. No. You've seen it. You've been doing it for, you said 7 years now. You've worked with so many dogs. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of things that the average handler is not going to see. And
it's interesting because where I started and where dogs are now has changed.
Oh, I can imagine.
And it's really fascinating. In fact, let's see, Lyra was born in 2021. There is something about that year where it does not matter the breed. 2021, those particular dogs are really slow on actually tracking and grabbing the toys. I can't explain it.
It's all those COVID vaccines.
It's got to be something. I don't know. You know, something in the air that year.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you again, Becky. It's been great working with you. I think we've got a pretty awesome product here.
I think so.
I'm excited to see it kind of take off for the 2025 season. Come to Three Hounds. I've been coming here for 2-3 years now.
Something like that.
It's been a little minute, and I've been having a blast. It's a great facility. It's clean. The pool is great. The dock is awesome. Thank you for keeping the place as awesome as it is. And I think that's it for now. So
you think it's good?
I think it's good. Thanks so much.